Welcome back, everyone, to the ER4C Academy podcast. I'm Carol, here with my fantastic co-host, Carlos.
Great to be back, Carol. So, for the last few episodes, we've been deep in the trenches, right? We've been talking about the high-stakes world of the discovery call. We've gone through pipeline management, really all the stuff that happens inside the CRM and on the phone.
Exactly. All the digital and, system-based work. But today, we're doing something different. We are stepping out of the office, away from the CRM, and we're hitting the pavement.
I love it. We're talking about the tangible world today. This is Lecture 10, the hyper-local ground game, winning your market from the dirt up.
Yes. And before we really dive in, Carlos, I think we need to set a really important boundary here. We need to be crystal clear.
Okay, lay it on me.
Digital marketing is absolutely non-negotiable. Your YouTube channel, your social media, your ad funnels, all of that is critical. It's the engine for scaling your business. We are not for 1 second suggesting you stop doing any of that.
That's a great point. Digital is a massive, massive topic, and honestly, it needs its own dedicated series, which, by the way, we will be covering very soon. But today is different.
Today is about the tangible. It's about mastering that hyper-local ground game. Because in a world where everyone is just glued to their screens, the agent who physically shows up, who physically commands a neighborhood, that's the agent who wins the inventory.
I couldn't agree more. So where do we start with this? I think the first logical step is geographic farming and this idea of the hyper-local circle.
And let's be clear about what farming is not. Farming is not printing off 500 generic postcards with your face on them, sending them to a random subdivision, and then just sitting by the phone waiting for it to ring.
Oh man, that is the biggest waste of capital. I see so many new agents fall into that trap. It's just burning money. True farming, the kind we're talking about, is what the lecture calls geographic injection.
I love that term, geographic injection. It sounds active. It sounds intentional. So how does an agent choose their farm? You can't just dominate all of Central Florida at once. You have to be strategic.
You got to pick your battles, and the blueprint for this is all about data. The first point is you have to look at the turnover rate.
Right.
You need to find a neighborhood that has, at a minimum, a 6 to 8% annual turnover rate. It's simple logic. If nobody is moving, you are farming barren soil. You're wasting your time, your energy, and your money.
That's the foundational piece. It's the first question you should ask. Okay, so once you've found a neighborhood with a healthy turnover, what's next on the blueprint?
Next up is average sales price. You have to make sure the price point in that neighborhood actually aligns with your financial goals and, just as importantly, with your ideal client avatar.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, if your goal is to hit a certain GCI and you specialize in luxury properties, you probably shouldn't be farming a neighborhood of starter homes and vice versa. You have to play in the sandbox that makes sense for your business model.
So we have turnover, price point, and competition. I think there's a fourth, more qualitative factor to consider: community identity. And the third piece of this blueprint, and this one is so often overlooked, is what we call the competition gap.
Ooh, this is a good one.
It's huge. You need to run the MLS data for that subdivision. Is there already a king or queen of the castle? Is there one agent who already commands, say, 40% or more of the listings in that neighborhood? If there is, our advice is simple. Find a different neighborhood. It's so much harder to unseat an entrenched incumbent than it is to go into a neighborhood where the market share is fragmented, where there's a vacuum, and become the dominant force there yourself.
Work smarter, not harder. Don't pick an unnecessary fight. Find the opportunity gap. So to recap, find a good turnover rate, make sure the price point works for you, and find a place where you can actually win. And there's a psychological component to that too. When homeowners see multiple signs from the same agent, it creates a feedback loop. They start to think, well, everyone else is using them, they must be the best. It's social proof right there on the front lawns.
And it becomes a barrier to entry for your competition. When you're that visible, other agents see it too. They'll look at the MLS data and see your dominance, and they'll be more likely to follow that exact advice we just gave. They'll go find an easier farm to break into. You're not just winning listings, you're building a competitive moat around your territory.
Yes, and this all comes back to a classic marketing rule that everyone needs to remember, the 7 touch points theory. The idea is that it takes, on average, 7 interactions with your brand before a consumer even really internalizes your call to action. 7.
And those 7 touches have to be across multiple mediums. It can't just be 7 emails. It's got to be a mix of physical connections, digital ads, flyers, phone calls, everything.
So let's break down some of the most effective analog, or as the lecture calls them, tangible touch methods. The first one is high-value analog marketing.
And this starts with fixing a huge problem, low-value direct mail. Stop sending those flimsy, just listed, or just sold templates that look like every other piece of junk mail. They go directly from the mailbox to the trash can.
Totally. Instead, you need to send oversized, data-rich assets. Think about sending a State of the Neighborhood half-year report, a beautifully designed, maybe even glossy mailer that details exact property values on their street, recent sales, inventory trends, something that provides immediate, tangible utility to the homeowner.
Yeah, something that makes them stop and go, whoa, okay, this is actually useful. That piece doesn't get thrown away, it gets put on the kitchen counter, and that's the goal. And it doesn't always have to be a big report. What about a high-quality, beautifully designed annual neighborhood maintenance checklist? Things like remember to clean your gutters in October or schedule your AC maintenance in March. You're providing value that has nothing to do with buying or selling. You're just being a helpful neighbor. Which leads perfectly to the next point, the modern pop-by. It's the same principle. We're not just dropping off a branded pen that gets lost in a junk drawer. We're dropping off tangible, high-utility items directly to their door.
Okay, so give me some examples. What's a high-utility pop-by?
Well, think local. Maybe a small bag of coffee beans from the beloved local coffee shop, or here in Florida, a branded hurricane prep checklist on a nice heavy-duty magnet, or a magnetic schedule for the local high school football team.
Oh, the sports schedule is brilliant. That's going right on the fridge. And think about the seasons. In the spring, you could drop off a small branded packet of flower seeds. In the summer, a can koozie with your logo. Around the holidays, a simple ornament. These small, thoughtful items show you're paying attention and that you're a consistent presence, not just someone who shows up when they want something.
Exactly. The goal is to give them something that stays on the kitchen counter or on the refrigerator, keeping your brand visible every single day. It's about being useful, not just being loud.
That's the key. Utility. Okay, so that's the direct-to-home stuff. What about getting out there in person? That leads to community injection and local events. And I think this highlights a crucial mindset shift for agents. Analog marketing, done this way, isn't just about short-term lead generation. It's about long-term brand building. That magnet on the fridge may not make them call you tomorrow, but it ensures you're top of mind 6 months from now when they are ready.
Right, and this doesn't have to be some massive expensive undertaking. We're talking about micro-hosting. You don't need to rent out a convention center.
Please don't.
No, definitely not. Instead, you could sponsor the annual community garage sale, or bring in a popular local food truck for a neighborhood block party, or maybe host a really informal, hyper-local real estate market update over coffee at the community clubhouse. Small, targeted, and valuable.
And that community involvement can extend to other local businesses, right? That's the whole B2B relationship angle.
Yes, this is such a powerful strategy. Go partner with the local coffee shop, the dry cleaner, the popular pizza place. Set up a deal where you cross-promote. You promote their services to your database of clients, and in return, you get to leave a stack of your high-value market reports in their lobbies.
You become intertwined with the fabric of the community. You're not just a real estate agent. You're the neighborhood's economic champion. You're the person who knows things and connects people. That is an incredibly powerful position to hold.
It really is, but all of this is still pretty passive, right? Mailers, pop-bys, events. You're waiting for people to come to you. You can't build a dominant business on that alone. I have a perfect example of this. I partnered with a local bakery, sent out a mailer with a coupon for a free coffee from them. Months later, I get a call from a seller. Turns out the bakery owner was his sister-in-law. She was so impressed by the partnership that she referred me. You never know where that community goodwill will lead.
That's the perfect transition, Carlos. You have to integrate proactive outreach, and that means tackling the toughest conversions in the entire market for sale by owners or FSBOs and expired listings.
The white whales. So how does this fit into the hyper-local model?
It starts with what we call modern circle prospecting. This is where you integrate your physical presence with the phone. So, let's say you just hosted that community garage sale, or you just sold a home on Oak Street. You then get on the phone and call the 50 nearest neighbors.
And the key here, the framework, is that you do not pitch them. You're not calling to ask for their business. You're calling to provide a neighborhood update.
It's a value add.
Exactly. The script is something like, "Hi, this is Carlos, your local market advisor. We just wanted to let you know that the home on Oak Street just closed for a record price, which directly and positively impacts your own home's equity. Just wanted to make sure you were aware." That's it.
It's a completely different energy. You're not asking for anything, you're giving information. That same principle has to apply to FSBOs and expireds, but with an extra layer of care. We have to lead with empathetic problem solving.
Yeah, you have to remember their mindset. These people are inherently frustrated. They've either just failed at a very stressful process, selling their home, or they're actively trying to do it themselves because they don't trust agents or want to avoid paying a commission. Their guard is way, way up.
So you can't just call them with a hard pitch. The strategy is to approach them through a physical touch point first. Drop off a high-quality, genuinely helpful informational packet. Maybe it's a guide to home staging or a clear breakdown of how to navigate closing paperwork, something that helps them with the problem they're facing right now.
You drop it off in person. A quick, no pressure, "Hey, saw you were selling, thought this might help," and then you leave.
Right. Then the crucial part is the follow-up. You call them 2 days later and you lead with empathy and helpfulness. The script isn't, "Did you get my packet? Do you want to list with me?" It's, "Hey, this is Carol. I dropped off that staging guide on Tuesday. I know you're handling the sale yourself, but I just wanted to see if that resource helped clarify the appraisal process for you."
That is so much more powerful. You're positioning yourself as a helpful advisor, not a commission-hungry salesperson. You have to establish trust long before you ever ask for the listing.
And really, Carlos, that brings all of these ideas together into the most important concept of the entire lecture. This is the core of it all, layering the strategy. And that trust is an asset that pays dividends far beyond that one potential listing, even if that FSBO decides not to sell or lists with their cousin. You've made a positive professional impression. When their neighbor asks for a recommendation months later, who do you think they're going to mention? The pushy agent who called them 5 times, or the helpful advisor who gave them value for free? And this is so much bigger than just a tactic for converting FSBOs. This approach, this empathetic problem solving, it goes right to the heart of our agency's core values. It's about embodying principles like empathy, honesty, and helpfulness in everything we do.
This is the magic sauce. You're absolutely right, Carol. It's not just about our values, it's our entire mission statement in action. One of our foundational mission statements is to build trust one home at a time by nurturing lasting relationships and guiding our clients through a transformative journey. That empathetic approach we just described is the living embodiment of that mission. It's about seeing the person before the property.
It is, because the single biggest mistake I see agents make is that they try one channel, it doesn't give them an immediate result, and they quit. They send one batch of postcards, get 0 calls, and throw their hands up and say, "Well, direct mail is dead." But they're completely ignoring the 7 touch points theory we just talked about. One postcard isn't a strategy. It's a single touch. It's a whisper in a hurricane. It's almost guaranteed to fail on its own.
Exactly. The magic isn't in the mailer or the pop-by or the phone call. It's in the layering. It's in the sequence. True hyper-local dominance happens when that homeowner in your farm experiences a carefully orchestrated series of touches.
Okay, so paint that picture for us. What does that sequence look like in the real world?
Okay, imagine this. On a Saturday, a homeowner is out walking their dog, and they see your branded tent and your smiling face at the neighborhood garage sale you're sponsoring. That's touch point 1. They register you. Then, on Tuesday, they go to their mailbox and they pull out that oversized, data-heavy market report we talked about. It's got your branding all over it. They connect it to the person they saw at the garage sale. Now, it's not junk mail. It's from a person they've seen in their community. That's touch point 2.
The connection is forming.
Then, on Thursday, their phone rings, and it's you, and you deliver that polite, value-driven circle prospecting call. Hi, it's Carlos, your neighborhood market advisor. Just wanted to see if you had a chance to look at the market report I sent over, and if you saw the data about the recent sale on your specific street.
And when you layer it just like that, by the time you actually call them, it is no longer a cold call. It's a warm follow-up. It's the third point of contact in less than a week. They know your name, they know your face, they know you provide value.
That's it. You've answered the phone before it even rang in their mind.
Yes, they feel like you are everywhere, and you are, but only in the places that matter to them. You have successfully engineered a perception of absolute market dominance, all within a very tight, highly profitable geographic circle.
That's the core takeaway for this entire episode. The channels must reinforce each other. Your physical presence at that garage sale validates your direct mail. Your direct mail warms up your phone call. Your phone call proves you're an active, engaged expert. And it's not just about perception, it's about efficiency. When your brand is that strong in a specific area, your marketing dollars go further. Your cost per acquisition drops because you're not starting from zero with every single person. You're building on a foundation of trust and recognition that you've already established. It's smarter, more sustainable growth.
And Carlos, I think it's important to address something here that might seem like a contradiction. We've just spent this whole episode talking about shoe leather and shaking hands. How does that square with our agency's vision to be a data-driven, media-powered company that's revolutionizing real estate? When you master the dirt, you own the neighborhood. It's that simple and that profound. You become undeniable.
I love it. This is so actionable. Okay, so as we wrap up, we always like to give our listeners some homework, something they can do this week to put these ideas into practice.
Of course, we call this the 5-minute homework assignment. It's called the Farm Audit.
All right, I'm ready. What is it?
It's 3 simple steps. Step 1, open your MLS and select just one, subdivision that is within a 10-mile radius of your office. Don't overthink it. Just pick one that comes to mind.
Okay, got my subdivision. Step 2?
Step 2, do the math. Calculate the turnover rate for the last 12 months. The formula is simple. Take the total number of sales and divide it by the total number of homes in that neighborhood.
All right, got my turnover rate. And step 3?
Step 3. If that turnover rate is above our minimum of 6%, I want you to open up Google Maps. Look at the entrance to that neighborhood and write down the names of 2 local B2B businesses, coffee shops, dry cleaners, anything that you can contact this week to propose that cross-promotional partnership we talked about.
That's it. Simple, actionable, and it gets the ball rolling on your hyper-local ground game immediately. Don't just listen to this podcast, folks. Do the homework. And here's a bonus step, a pro tip, if you will. Don't just call them. Go there, walk in, buy a coffee, introduce yourself to the owner. A 5-minute in-person chat is 100 times more effective than a cold email. It's the whole point of this lecture. Show up in the physical world.
That's what it's all about. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the ER4C Academy. I'm Carol.
And I'm Carlos. Go out there and win your market from the dirt up. We'll see you next time.